Reading, writing, and arithmetic aren't the only things Swedish children are learning at school these days.
Så vi kommer åka lite tidigare.
And now, some news about where people can seek shelter in case of war.
Åsa Lind started using news programs in her curriculum 2 years ago to open conversations with students worried about the implications of Russia's war on Ukraine. She also shares recommendations from authorities on how to be prepared for any emergency, something the government calls total defense.
It's always been important to incorporate the kids' worries and their anxiety and try to teach them about the surroundings and what's happening in the world.
But last month, when several top-ranking officials emphasized publicly that Swedes must prepare for war, the warning that made bomb shelters a headline, Lind says she saw anxiety rise.
A lot of our young persons got worried, and a lot of the adults as well. And as a teacher, you have to keep your own worries to yourself and just try to be ordinary about it and follow the routines and create a safe space in school for the kids.
That seems to have worked for most of her students.
We have to know what to do if it's gonna be a war. I'm a little scared about that, but I don't feel like it's gonna be a war in Sweden.
It feels more safe when I get to know about this stuff.
But not every child in Sweden has this kind of institutional support to put the warnings of war into context. And with older teens, social media has fanned the fears.
There was one day when just all of social media was just, everything was just prepare for war. And so I got pretty scared.
Counselors on a helpline run by the Swedish children's rights organization BRIS saw a huge spike in calls after the government statements.
Where will I go if there will be a war? I can only be honest. I cannot promise a child there won't be any war, but I can talk about the general knowledge about the risk of Sweden being in war now is not higher than yesterday.
BRIS spokeswoman Maya Dahl says they got some powerful assistance in explaining the confusing situation to children. 24-hour preferential placement by TikTok.
Everyone in Sweden who opened the application that day would get a notification. Here we have questions and answers about what the armed forces mean with war. We have to prepare for war in Sweden. And then you have information on why they're saying this right now and what you need to know.
Dahl says the TikTok boost helped temporarily, but she still thinks the official statements were unnecessarily alarming. A spokesman for the armed forces disagrees.
I think this is a very good thing. The awareness has raised and people are more concerned about their own preparedness.
The Swedish Civil Contingencies Agency says the number of searches on its website for air raid shelters has gone up exponentially, as has the number of downloads of the booklet on how to be ready if war comes.